guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to dive into the debate, clay lightener versus bleach. This is a really hot topic because I know a lot of you are so used to traditional bleach that clay lightener kind of freaks you out and you want to use it, but you're scared to use it and you're not getting the results that you want from it. And so in today's video, I'm going to walk you through a whole journey that I've had with one of my clients over the last 3 years of transitioning her out of using regular bleach into clay lightener, and you are not going to believe how much healthier her hair is, how much fuller and thicker it is, and how much more longer she gets between her appointments. So I'm really excited to dive into it. Before we do though, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and bell so that you get notified of my new videos each and every Monday, because you do not want to miss out on what's coming your way. All right, so I've been doing Alita's hair for a few years now, and when she first came to me, she had completely bleached out blonde hair, and she called them back bangs. She had so much breakage around her hairline. Her hair was thin and brittle, and she didn't even realize that that was all due to the lightener. So she decided, you know what? I love the bright blonde, but my hair is falling apart. So we started taking her on a journey. And the most important part of this journey was the initial consultation that I had with her in the very beginning. Consultations are huge. And the biggest misconception that we have is we think consultations are just finding out what you want done with your hair, but it's about building trust, loyalty, respect, and authority. And if you want to learn how to do a custom consultation that you can actually get paid for, go ahead and check out my link below about Rock Your Consultation. But anyway, back to the whole clay lightener versus bleach thing. So we've taken Alita over the last 3 years, I think it is, over in these transitions, getting her out of the full over bleach, the harshness of bleach. And the thing I like to say about clay lightener is it's like a slow cooker, and regular bleach in a foil is like a hot oven. And both are great, and if used properly can work great. But my clients, after using clay lightener for 3 years, you're going to see that transformation today, have so much more juicier, fuller results. Their hair isn't as brittle and breaking off, and it looks so much healthier. So let's get in. You've seen these few pictures of Alita's hair over it. Let's get into the nitty gritty of her last appointment, where I only used clay lightener, and see how much healthier and fuller and beautiful and more natural looking her hair is now that we're using clay lightener. And you're going to find out exactly how I use it and how I do it differently than everyone else. All right, here is the before of her last appointment. I can't believe her hair. Like, look at how you saw, like, yeah, she's not loving it, but you saw how thin it looked. So I'm using Redken Freehand with 40 vol. Now I know that seems crazy, but what 40 vol is in open air is what 20 vol is like in a foil. And remember, I'm doing this all open air. So I'm taking the Redken Freehand clay lightener. I'm using 40 volume, and I'm free pouring because I mix to a consistency, not a ratio. And if you want to know, I'm a messy mixer. If you want to know more about how I mix clay lightener, go ahead and check out this video that I'm linking just up top here in here. Okay, so Alita she's grown out her blonde. She wanted healthier hair, and that was kind of part of it. And what we're going to do is giving her a really sun-kissed, light, like as if she spent 5 minutes in the sun kind of look today. So she kind of wanted like Hilary Swank-ish hair. Now you can see here that I am using the flat side of my brush. I'm holding her hair nice and tight, giving it good pressure. I'm not scared. The biggest thing I see is when people get into the open hair world, they know it's 40 volume, and it's kind of like a mind messing thing, where they're like, well, it's 40 vol. I don't want to lay it on too thick because what if it damages the hair? But remember, it's not as thin. Like, there's not as much developer in this. Oh, and you want to make sure you wipe your gloves in between every single section. Otherwise, it'll be a mess. But the 40 vol it's not as strong because there's not as much developer in this because it's a lot thicker. So remember that what 40 vol is in a foil or in an open air is what 20 vol in a foil would be. So there, using the flat side of my brush again, because I want it to be hitting just the surface. I'm not wanting it to penetrate to the underside, and I'm creating graduation on the strand. So I go underneath, I create the blend, and I really fully saturate the ends there. You really, really want to make sure that you're using elevation, tension, and pressure on all of it, and that the product is really fully through all the hair there. I'm taking triangle-inspired sections here, you can see, and applying it right on there with the flat side of the brush and creating that blend, angling up to the hairline. I definitely want her to have a rooted look, but I don't want it to look too bright. She's wanting like I said, she said, make it look like I've spent 5 minutes in the sun. So wanting to keep that natural look. And that's why my sections maybe don't make sense. I have some videos all about sectioning here on my YouTube channel if you want to go check them out. But I really go with the way the hair falls. That's the most important thing, is for natural looking hair, we don't want really methodical placement. We want to look at the head of hair, the person it's on, how the hair falls. Hair is a moving art piece. And that's why the consultation is so important, is you want to really listen and hear what your client's about. Yes, I give you hair techniques on this channel, but the most important technique and skill you can learn is good communication. And that's why I'm really passionate about consultations, because we've been doing them all wrong in our industry for far too long. We need to sit down, talk face to face to our clients and really hear them and understand them. And that's where most of my success has come from. Skill, talent can be taught, but communication needs to be learned. And we as hairstylists, in order to level up and be the professional, we need to start doing that more. Okay, so I'm bricklaying, and once again, she doesn't want to be overly blonde or light. So I am making sure that I'm using the law of percentages. If I highlight 50% of her hair, she's going to be 50% light, 50% dark. But she wants to maintain the depth. So I am making sure I highlight less than 50% of her hair. So you can see I'm also taking wider panels and more horizontal, because when it's horizontal, it diffuses the color more. I don't want stripy or chunky. I want really diffused, blended, beautiful color. I also want it to pop when she curls it. So to see the way it looks and to kind of brighten up and have these like ribbons of color rather than these stripes and chunks that foils can often give. Doing the triangle inspired sections, but with the blend, so it's not actual color blocking. Does that make sense? Like if you went and colored a whole triangle chunk, when the hair moved near the scalp, you'd see it. But because we're not pushing it through all the way, we're only saturating the ends, and at the top, it's only that surface paint. It creates a really beautiful blend. So that triangle section only pops at the bottom where her hair has that natural wave. And you can see she's got a little bit of that bleach, but holy cow, we have come a long way in the last 3 years from going from about an inch of regrowth and trying not to damage her hair more to this place right here. And I am so excited and happy about it. So I'm going to let you watch while I paint here, and I will come back shortly to tell you how to do the crown so it doesn't look weird. All right, so this is a really, really important section here because most people do it wrong. So what I see happen is people take it too close up to the root, but you can see those pieces on either side. I'm making sure this piece falls in the middle and goes lower, because to create that rooted look, but not of roots, is to keep this piece lower, and those highlights underneath on either side are going to pop up and give this really beautiful halo appearance. So this last section, counterintuitive to what we want to do. We often want to bring it up higher because we want it to be seen, because we feel like all the hair underneath will be hidden. But remember, hair is a moving art piece. It moves and flows. So all those highlights underneath are going to pop up. So this one I actually place lower on the strand than all the other ones, and you can see how it creates that U. Now here, going to the hairline, this is what I always get asked about. It's like, Dawn, like the sides, I always end up over highlighting because I feel like I'm not putting enough. Remember the law of percentages, less than 30%. So you can see I've done one piece there. Now I'm going up. I'm only doing like 3 pieces on the sides because remember, I don't want to highlight all her hair. I want impact, and I want it to be noticeable, but I don't want to saturate it so much so that you can't even tell the highlights. It just looks all bright, all light. So once again, when you start to feel like I'm not putting enough in, sometimes less is more, especially when it comes to people wanting to kind of keep that natural beachy look, is to do less. You can always go back in and go do more, right? I would rather a client be like, it's not enough, than be like, it's too much. And then you have to work behind. And that's the reality of the fact, is we're dealing with people. And that's why the communication in the consultation is so important. So, so important. And I just got to tell you right now, like when I started doing custom consultations, I wasn't charging at first. And when I started charging for them, and you don't have to charge if you go through my program, but you'll see why, you'll learn why inside, how it can change the authority and how people treat you differently when they have invested interest. So I'm not saying that you have to, but it did change the game for me. All right, here I am taking the clay lightener. You're going to see how I put it on the back of my hand. And that's where I like to keep it. You got to be careful though, and you got to make sure it doesn't fall off. And I guarantee if you haven't done this before, when you start doing it, you'll get a big chunk on the floor. Okay, now around her face, she's wanting to maintain that brunette look. So I keep checking. I don't want to go up too high. We didn't want to do a strong, bold money piece on this. We want it to look really natural. So you can see I drop it down to see where does it go? Right around her eyebrow. Perfect. If you want to maintain that kind of brunette look, you don't really want to, and there I'm going, this is the blend. You're not really going to see the transition, but I'm just creating the blend, but I don't want to go any higher than the eyebrow so that she maintains that natural color of hers, which is really nice. And she's worked so hard to grow out, which is really awesome. So you can see here, I'm just going up and I'm just right at the corner, like right that section at the front, I'm going up and just blending it in. I pulled it down and see, oh, that's going to look like the most natural looking highlight. The best thing is I want people to look at her hair and be like, dang, did she even get anything done? But it looks so awesome. And like, of course she had to have something done, but I can't really pinpoint where it is. That is the best compliment. And the cool thing about clay lightener, since we're talking about clay lighteners versus bleach, is when applied correctly, you get zero line of demarcation. I don't have to shadow root at all. The blend comes from the application. So I'm actually creating less work for myself. And you know me, I'm lazy. I want to do the least amount of work for the best bang, right? The best bang for my buck. And so it's not that I want to cut corners and not do good quality. I want to be able to work efficiently and high quality. And this technique allows you to do that when you create that blend on the strand. Now, if you want to dive really deep into my hair painting, I have my hair painting outside the lines program that you can go and grab. I'll leave the link below if you want to really learn how I do all of this. So then I take this section down here and I look at it and I go, you know what? I want to put a highlight in because I feel like I'm supposed to, but I don't. I just leave it and I move on to the other side because I don't want to over highlight. So here you can see I am bringing this section up. I am taking the color from the back of my hand. I'm using the flat side of my brush. I'm keeping it pretty low. And I just want to make sure, I want it to be balanced but not symmetrical. The last thing I want is it to look very cookie cutter on her head and very, what's the word I'm looking for? I always forget this word. I don't want it to look manufactured. I want it to look like it just sprinkled in her hair. And that's my style. I want it to be the most natural looking hair that everyone's jealous of. And so that's what I'm trying to give her today. You can see here I'm taking the more section. I'm looking, where's her temple? Where's the recession? Which way should I go? I want to make sure it looks good when she pulls her hair back. So I'm taking this, I sometimes call this my angle parking placement, where it's angled back. All right, going in, starting at the mid shaft, working my way up. Once again, not wanting to over highlight too much. So I'm going lower down. I'm slowly bringing the lightener up, creating that blend. Like I said, if you want to learn more about how to create this blend so it saves you time and your client's money because you don't have to shadow root, which is less product, less time. It's a win-win all the way around. Doing the underside there. Yep. It's just so soothing to watch. Okay, here's this last section. It's always around the face that I get the most questions. If you've got any questions of this whole process, please leave a comment below. I look for them and I want to answer them as best as I possibly can. So keeping it flat, but using kind of that front corner and going up. I don't want to go too high up, once again, just around the eyebrow and taking it around the face like a sliver. So that's why I'm really angling it there. I don't want to take it all up around the face. We're not going for a bold money piece. We're going for subtle, soft, natural looking balayage, natural looking highlights on her hair. But it looks bold because the piece is wide, but you can see how that slant really keeps it bold on the end with a ribbon effect. And you're going to love, well, you've seen a sneak peek of the after. You're going to love how it looks at the end. there you can see just going lightly up around the face. When I pull it down, I can see that transition. It's going to look so beautiful. So here's the final look. And what I love about clay lightener and why I'm obviously more keen for it is that you can see what it's going to look like before it's even done, which is really, really awesome. So this is my scratch test. I got a lot of flack over on TikTok, if you're following me on TikTok, about this, but I scratch it. Once it's dry, it's kind of like glue. So I think of Elmer's glue back in the day. And when it's dry here and flaky, it's done. Now it does develop a cast, so sometimes it's not always done, but I always start at the top and work my way down so that I don't scratch off a bit and stop it developing. But then I can kind of have a peek at what it looks like. Rinse, 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 and then I will tone just with one toner all over the whole thing, and then we'll go back and blow dry. So enjoy this process. This is the most relaxing part. You can see I work in an old building, and the water is super finicky, and it goes hot and cold and hot and cold. And you can see I'm adjusting it 10 million times while I'm rinsing it out, but I make sure I rinse it out really good so that I only have to tone it once. I'm a flash toner. Hate me if you will. You might disagree with me completely. I like to leave toners on at like 5, maybe 10 minutes max, but I am not a leave the toner on for 20 minutes. Give her a good shampoo to get all that lightener out of there. And with clay lightener, it's a little bit, it does take a little bit more work to get it out of the hair because it's more thicker. But once you've washed it all out, then you put the toner on and bam, we'll see what it looks like. I'll see you on that side. Okay, so here you can see it pre-toned. It lifts really nicely, and you can see some of her old ends there, which we were cutting off because they're so damaged. So I went in with an 8V, 8T toner just to cut out some of the warmth, and I want it to look a little bit darker so that she has a more natural look. So go and put that on with Shades EQ. Yep, there we go. Here's the flash tone. Like I said, hate me, disagree with me. I don't follow manufacturer's instructions always. I don't emulsify it too much. You'll see that. I want to get it in there, and I want to let it sit, and I want to let it tone, and then that's where we are. So I rub it in. I make sure it's fully through all of her highlights, and then I let it sit for 5-ish minutes. I watch it, and when it's ready, it's ready. And that's one thing, when I first came into this industry, I was never taught to leave a toner on for 20 minutes. Ever. And we didn't really tone a lot when I started 20 years ago. Toning we just mainly did like purple shampoo, which is so unreal to me now. So toning's a new thing, but then when we started toning, it was always like 5-10 minutes, watch for it to turn. It was never 20 minutes on the hair. And so I know that goes against manufacturer's instructions, but if you're flash toner, hit me up in the comments. If you completely disagree with it, I am always open to hearing other people's thoughts and opinions. This is what I love and this is what I do, but it's not that it's the right way or the wrong way. I don't believe in one right or one wrong way, and that's why I'm a little bit different in this industry and the way I teach and the way I coach other hairstylists to run their businesses, because there are many roads to the same place. So hate me if you will, leave me a nasty comment, sure, but it ain't going to change the way I do things. All right, I hope you're excited to see the final look. Here we go. Are you ready for it? Brushing it through, nice and subtle and soft, hitting some tangles along the way, but you can see how nice and blended and natural and beachy that looks. It just looks like a natural progression of her hair, and that it looks so good. So here you go. Here's the final look. I'm going to add in some stills that we got some really good ones, but wow, what a long journey she has come on, and she has stuck with it to get her hair healthy. Look at how much thicker that is compared to when she first came in. Let me pop that picture in here real quick. All right, so I know the lighting's a little grainy on here, so I'm going to pop a couple after photos, but look at how nice and beautiful and beachy that looks. Perfect for this upcoming summer. Thumbs up. She likes it. She was a good sport. I appreciate it so much. Wow, I love it. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. I had fun bringing it to you. What 3 years in the process. Go ahead and let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments. If you liked it or if you didn't like it, I want to hear that too. And make sure to subscribe because you do not want to miss the videos that are coming out next week and the week after that. So if you hit that bell, you'll get reminded and you'll get to see my videos first. And I want to know, have you come over to Instagram and said hello to me yet? Go ahead and shoot me a DM over on Instagram. I want to get connected with you. So hit the bell, hit subscribe, and then go shoot me a DM on Instagram. Or if you feel like it, take a screenshot while you're watching this, post it in your stories, and tag me, and you might just end up in my stories. All right, friend, I'll see you next Monday for a video you are not going to want to miss.